Can public officials block critics on their social media accounts? It's a hot button issue that's generated a lot of attention when then President Donald Trump was sued for trying to block his critics on Twitter.
The Supreme Court dismissed the case once Mr. Trump was out of office, and the case was moot. But as CBS 8's Richard Allen finds, the nation's highest court has now agreed to decide this larger issue, which involves a much more local case.
You're talking about public officials and public officials blocking access to social media. You are talking about issues that go to the heart of the First Amendment.
An issue that the U.S. Supreme Court has now agreed to tackle after two different appeals courts issued different rulings on cases involving public officials' interactions with the public on their social media pages.
I mean, if anything, they're late to the game. Social media has been around for a very, very long time, and public officials have been using it for as long as it's been in place.
One case centers on the actions of Poway Unified School Board member Michelle O'Connor Ratcliffe and now former board member TJ Zane, who had blocked two parents who left critical comments on their Twitter and Facebook pages, leading to an appeals court's decision that the board members had violated the parents' free speech rights. Legal analyst Dan Eaton.
The Poway officials allegedly blocked these parents in a way that was inconsistent with the Poway officials' role as school board members who were publicly elected.
In a separate case and different appeals court, the city manager of Port Huron, Michigan, James Freed, blocked a resident from posting on his Facebook page after that resident blasted the city's response to the COVID pandemic. In that case, lower courts ultimately sided with the city manager, finding that Freed's Facebook activity was not state action and immune from First Amendment scrutiny.
They are two very different decisions, and when courts clash, that's where the Supreme Court is going to get interested.
In a statement, TJ Zane and Michelle O'Connor Ratcliffe said they're looking forward to presenting their arguments to the Supreme Court, adding, quote, public officials are themselves private citizens with their own First Amendment rights, which include the right to block abusive commenters and otherwise use their own personal social media accounts without being constrained by the rules that the First Amendment imposes on the government. The Supreme Court is scheduled to take up this case sometime during its next term, which will start in October. Richard Allen, CBS 8.